everyone, and welcome to this episode of FTC News. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Tomer. Thank you all for joining us for this jam-packed episode. On today's show, we'll be reporting our results from the first two Minnesota State qualifiers, some rulings from the GDC, we'll spotlight the accomplishments of some FTC teams from around the U.S., and we'll tell you about the visit to one of our sponsors, Minnesota Waterjet, where we learned all about cutting materials such as aluminum and steel with high-pressure streams of water.
Our robotics team, 6389 Lazy Bots, competed in the first two Minnesota State FTC qualifier tournaments, which were held on back-to-back Saturdays, November 15th and 22nd, 2014. The first qualifier was held at Egan High School and brought 15 ambitious teams together on a cold Minnesota morning to test their early season robot designs in head-to-head competition. With a low number of teams in attendance, each team got to compete in 8 qualifying matches throughout the day, which gave teams the chance to really test out their autonomous and teleop strategies and programs. It also meant that because there were less than 20 teams competing, elimination matches would consist of alliances that only had 2 teams instead of 3. By 3 o'clock p.m., the stage was set for elimination matches, with the first seed team 6705 Motorbolts paired with team 7231 Blue Plasma. The number 2 seed 7659 Blue Crew in alliance with team 8723 Team Underscore. The third seed, team 7899 Misfit partnered with team 9617 Titanium Tigers, and the fourth seed, 6021 Martian Minds in alliance with team 7190 The Green Girls.
After action-packed semifinal matches, the first seed alliance captained by 6705 Motorbolts and the second seed alliance captained by 7659 Blue Crew were victorious and were moving on to the finals. In the first match of the championship round, the Motorbolts alliance took the red flag and continued their strategy of delivering a rolling goal to the parking zone during autonomous, and pushing rolling goals up onto the ramp during teleop. In addition, they were able to collect wiffle balls and deposit them into the 97-meter rolling goal. Both robots were able to park on the ramp during the endgame as well, which gave their alliance the 257 points they needed to beat the Blue Alliance's 200 points. No penalty points were given during these matches.
During the second match of the championship round, the Motorbolts Alliance was looking to seal the deal. Their autonomous programs continued to work flawlessly. They scored multiple balls in the 90-centimeter goal, and they got all their goals and both robots on the ramp, while their alliance partner Blue Plasma played an excellent defense. When the final horn blew, the team posted the highest score of the day at 281, dominating the 170 points posted by their opponents. Great job, Motorbolts.
Although the LazyBots team robot had major electrical and mechanical issues during the matches, finished 12th out of 15 teams, and did not qualify to move on to the Minnesota State Tournament at this event, we learned a lot about what worked well and what didn't work well in our design. A huge part of FTC and engineering is allowing yourself to fail and recognizing why you failed, and having the commitment and perseverance to make modifications to your design and try again. Our team was very honored to have received the FTC Promote Award, the Stratus 3D Park Design Award, and the FTC Compass Award during closing ceremonies at this qualifier. With their excellent performance throughout the day and awesome gracious professionalism, the Motorbolts were chosen to receive the FTC Inspire Award. The Green Girls team was selected to receive the FTC Think Award for their excellent engineering notebook. The official list of advancing teams and FTC award winners has not yet been released by High Tech Kids, but we will bring it to you on a future broadcast as soon as it is. We want to send a huge thank you to FTC Team 7655, The Q is Silent, and High Tech Kids for hosting and coordinating this FTC qualifier. You all did a great job. We also want to send a shout out to all the teams that attended this qualifier. We had a lot of fun talking with you and competing on the field, and we hope to see you all again soon.
After a long week of little sleep and lots of design changes, our team and robot were ready for our second Minnesota State FTC qualifier on November 22nd at Valley View Middle School in Bloomington, Minnesota. We started off the day scheduled first for the judges' interviews, where our team delivered the presentation we had practiced, which gave specific details about our robot design and strategy, software development in Robot C, team management, fundraising, marketing, community outreach, and volunteering efforts. We then spent an additional 15 minutes answering questions the judges had about everything our team has done over the past 9 months since the 2014 Minnesota State FTC Championship last February.
This qualifier featured 22 teams from Minnesota and 1 team from Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. Our friends from last season, Team 4605 robo-hackers. Other teams attending were 2887 Bucket Brigade, 3385 The Bomb Squad, 6369 Designosaurus, 6699 Nova Tempest, 7232 Dinobites, and 8808 The Ponytail Posse. After software, hardware, and field inspections, it was time for the opening ceremonies, where our teammates Rachel and Ursula sang an excellent rendition of our national anthem. The Lazybots then had to get ready quickly, as we were competing in one of the first matches of the day.
The Lazybots learned an important strategy from the Motor Bulls at last week's FTC qualifier. If you can reliably push the rolling goals up on your ramp, you'll do well at qualifiers. Despite the changes our team made to keep balls out from under our chassis and the change of wheels from mechanism to traditional four-wheel tank drive, the fact that we don't yet own an official FTC Cascade effect ramp to test became an issue right away. During our first match, we were unable to push goals up on our ramp like we had been doing all week at our shop. We determined that our robot was simply too heavy for a four-wheel drivetrain with a 1-to-1 gear ratio. With limited supplies on hand and limited options, the team decided to try and reduce our overall weight of the robot by removing anything we didn't need to drive and capture rolling goals. With no time to test these changes on the practice field, we went straight into our next match. To our relief, the changes worked, and our robot, Tyrion, was now able to capture rolling goals and get them to the top of the ramp without tipping over. The rest of the day, we consistently delivered all three of our goals onto the top of the ramp and parked on the top of the ramp during the end game.
With 23 teams on hand at this qualifier, each team got to participate in 5 qualifying matches, and there would be 3 teams in each alliance during the elimination rounds. After the Lazybots' last qualifying match, our team was in 8th place, with 4 other matches left to play. By the time alliance selection came around, our final standing was locked in 10th place. Our team captain Rachel, along with myself and our chief engineer and robot driver Kyle, walked around and talked with the top-seeded teams to sell our robot's capabilities. This is a very important part of an FTC tournament that many rookie teams overlook. If you're not a top-ranked team and you want a chance to participate in the elimination rounds, you have to go and talk to the top teams and tell them why you are good as a pick for them.
During alliance selection, the number 1 seed selected the number 2 seed, and the number 3 seed, Team 8101 Robonados from Chanhassen, Minnesota, selected us, Team 6389, the Lazybots. Our third alliance partner was Team 5736 Stormbots, also from Chanhassen. The 4th seeded team, 9477 Tormsay Otsbay, also from Chanhassen, selected Team 6699 Tempest and 7232 Dinobites.
With the Lazybots robot in complete control of the rolling goals, and playing in every match, our alliance rolled through the semifinals in 2 straight matches. On the other field, the 9477 alliance advanced to the final round in 3 matches. The finals bracket was now set. On the blue alliance, Team 8101, 6389, and 5736. On the red alliance, Teams 9477, 6699, and 7232. The excitement was incredible. During the first match, the Red Alliance played excellent defense during Autonomous, shutting down the Blue Alliance's near-perfect 60-point play that had been working all day. While Team 6389 was able to deliver all 3 rolling goals onto the top of the ramp, penalty points and endgame scoring elevated the Red Alliance to a round 1 victory. Down by 1 game, the Blue Alliance had to win the next match, or accept defeat in the second-place title.
What took place in that second match was nothing short of incredible, and thanks to FTC team number 4778 Stormbots, we don't have to try and describe it to you. We can show it to you.
3, 2, 1, go! 5736 going for one of those. Looks like 7232 is running issues with their grabber. 5736 drops out, drops back in. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and that's autonomous mode. 2, 1, go! 72-32 going straight forward for those goals. 66-99 releases kickstand. Necessary if they want to shoot some. They have two. And it'll be 3, 4. 72-32. Blue, his neighbor carries position. And misses. But now it's tipping over. Red brings the second. Red ball up. Grab the third one. 63-89 likes not to move. Red moving up, down the second goal. Just want to hang it up there. Tennis tries score. They're lining up. Alright. We got less than 30 seconds left. Tempest. We got another couple in there. Now there are 5 seconds left. 4.
Wow, even though we were both right there, it's still incredible to see that match. Some great endgame by Tempest, and some interesting driving from our team.
I know, we were so close, but that endgame by 66-99 Tempest was unbeatable. Way to go, Tempest.
The changes our team made over the last week and during the day of the qualifier allowed us to go from finishing 12th last week to finishing on the finalist alliance this week. We did well in our judges' interview, had our engineering notebook in order, and made sure to exhibit gracious professionalism at all times. All this, in addition to over 850 hours of community outreach and volunteering so far this year, contributed to our team being the second team nominated for the FTC Inspire Award at this tournament. We are so thankful to the judges for recognizing our hard work and providing us the opportunity to compete at the Minnesota State Tournament on February 2015. In addition to the Inspire Award, we also won the PTC Design Award and were nominated for the Connect and Think Award.
While we all love winning tournaments and awards, FTC is about a lot more than that to me and the rest of the LazyBots team. The stress we went through between these two qualifiers, the way the team pulled together to overcome the challenges we faced, the lessons we learned from our failures, and the commitment to excellence in STEM we all strive for, that's really what it's all about. We love being a part of FTC and First, not for the trophies and medals, but for what we're learning and the friends we're making.
Well said, Rachel. Let's shift gears now and go on to some other news. In recent rulings from the GDC, we learned that all robot building supplies from Actobotics are now considered legal under the post-processed materials that have 1 degree of freedom or less rule. Teams can find Actobotics materials at the Servo City website, www.servocity.com.
The GDC also recently ruled that the constant force retractor for McMaster car is essentially a spring and is an allowed COTS part. Teams might use this to automatically retract and release wires connected to the end of their lift system.
In the electrical section of the official FTC forums, the GDC recently ruled that it is legal to use old-style spiral foam cord to extend servo wires, as long as it meets the wiring requirements specified in the game manual. Specifically, PWM wires are 20 AWG or 22 AWG. The teams must list this item on the bill of materials and be able to demonstrate from labeling or manufacturing documents that this requirement is met. Teams should also ensure that it does not pose an entanglement hazard. And as always, teams need to verify rulings by the GDC on the FTC forums.
And now it's time for our Spotlight on FTC Teams. Today, we feature teams 2858 Sparbots from Georgia, 7045 Blown Fuses from Michigan, and 4082 Robo-Spartans from New York State. First in the spotlight is Team 2858, the Sparbots. This group of 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students are the Athens Academy Upper School Robotics team, who have recently finished second out of 12 teams at the FTC tournament held November 8th at Dektar High School just outside Atlanta. In addition to their outstanding performance during qualifying matches, their team also won the Rockwell Collins Innovate Award for innovative and creative design. Great job, Sparbots, and good luck to you during the rest of your FTC season.
The second team we are spotlighting today is Team 7045 Blown Fuses from Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan. This second-year FTC team is from Parcels Middle School and was recently an FTC Inspire Award finalist at the qualifying tournament in Sterling Heights. Eileen Reichert, team coordinator, team mentor, and mother to one of the students on the team, said she was truly impressed by the students' accomplishments, and that being nominated for the Inspire Award is a credit to how well the team performs under pressure, and what great representation they are for our school district. The team has been selected to receive an EcoCycle Cube printer through 3D Systems and the Coca-Cola Company because of an application essay written by team captain Ritika Pitser and her controls team. Keep up the great work, you guys.
The last team in our spotlight today is 4082 Robo-Spartans. This after-school robotics team in New Hartford, New York recently expanded its reach to students around the world by developing the FTC Tech Network, a resource for teams participating in First Tech Challenge. The FTC Tech Network currently connects to over 60 robotics teams in 16 states and 4 countries. Networked teams share their knowledge and gain valuable contacts that they hope will last throughout their careers. Teams meet through Google Hangouts, community postings, and independent online chats. Teams range from small basement-based groups like Robo-Spartans to large school-supported technology clubs. The Robo-Spartans see the network not only as a tool for teams to use now, but as a way of establishing connections for future careers. Almost 5 years ago, the Robo-Spartans made it their mission to help robotics grow in central New York State. When they began in high school level robotics, they were the very first team within a 50-mile radius of Utica. Each season, the team had added more travel to their schedule while promoting robotics through thousands of hours of volunteering, demonstrations, and presentations. During the third season, the Robo-Spartans became the first local robotics team to attend the FTC World Championships in St. Louis, Missouri. As one of the 128 teams representing 11 countries, the Robo-Spartans made many new friends and reconnected with the teams they had met in years earlier. The LazyBots have looked up to this team for the past 2 years, and we hope that this year we will have an opportunity to meet them in person and interview them for the show. Good luck with this season, you guys.
In early November 2014, the LazyBots team visited one of our sponsors, Minnesota Waterjet in Ramsey, Minnesota. This company is a recognized leader for waterjet cutting services with state-of-the-art equipment, innovative experience, and commitment to their customer satisfaction. Their large format cutting tables can handle any job, from prototypes to production, with both abrasive and water-only cutting methods. Our visit started in the conference room with a discussion with the lead quality manager and our tour guide for the day, Dan Thunhorst. Dan explained that the company was founded in 2003 by Doug Leeser, and today the company has grown to over 25 employees. He also taught us about how waterjet cutting works. Basically, abrasive waterjet cutting, or AWJ, is a non-conventional cutting method that uses a stream of ultra-high pressured water with a powdered abrasive to cut all types of material. These materials include, but are not limited to, titanium, carbon steel, aluminum, stainless steel, copper, and plastic. For less dense material, such as foam and rubber, only a waterjet stream without the abrasive is required. This is sometimes referred to as pure waterjet cutting. An extremely strong and complex set of pumps are used to bring the pressure of the water stream up to 60,000 psi. The water is then mixed with a very fine abrasive material and forced through a diamond, which has a very small hole in it for which the water can squeeze through. The result is a very fine stream of water that can cut up to 24 inches of steel like a hot knife through butter.
One of the coolest parts of our visit to Minnesota Waterjet was watching parts of our robot being made right in front of us. Here you can see the process in action. The material being cut is a 1/4-inch aluminum plate. First, we created CAD drawings of the parts we needed using PTC Creo. Then we emailed them to Dan. He worked with one of the cutting machine operators to load the design files into the computer, which controls how the parts will be cut. Here you can see one of our cutting jobs taking place. It was very cool to see custom parts that we designed being made for us while we watched. Each time you see the water squirt up in the air, that is when the stream of high-pressure water is making its way through the aluminum plate. It then continues cutting the part until there's a very small piece left. The machine leaves this part so that the piece that was cut does not fall into the bottom of the pool. We asked if that ever happens, and the operator says yes, it sometimes happens, and then he has to get into the pool of water and retrieve the part.
Our tour was coming to an end, so we got Dan and the cutting machine operator to pose with our team in front of the company sign. We all thank them for sponsoring our team, and for making the awesome parts of our robots, and for teaching us all about Waterjet cutting.
We encourage all FTC teams to reach out to the engineers and manufacturing companies in their communities to learn more about different aspects of mechanical and manufacturing technologies. So far this season, the LazyBots have visited a welding shop, a 3D printing company, and as you've just seen, a Waterjet cutting facility. These types of field trips are easy to set up, and if you're lucky, you just might end up with a new sponsor for your team. To do this, look up companies in your area using Google that do what your team is interested in learning about. Next, prepare what you want to say when you call them. It should sound professional. Explain who you are and why you're calling. It's a good idea to have some dates and times for your visit ready in case they say yes. Plan these out ahead of time with your team to make sure everyone is available to attend. Lastly, make sure to say thank you before you end the call, and always remember your gracious professionalism.
Well, that's all we have time for in this episode of FTC News. Thanks for watching. If your team has just qualified for a state tournament, or you have a cool robot design you'd like to share with the world, send us an email and we'll set up a Skype interview. Just send us an email at lazybots@gmail.com, and be sure to visit our website at www.lazybots.com for up-to-date news on our team. Until next time, I'm Tomer.
And I'm Rachel. We'll see you next time on FTC News. Make sure to like and subscribe.